Welcome back everyone. In this lesson we are going to talk about what is different in HTML5. So those differences that you've been waiting for is what we are going to talk about in this lesson. Okay, so the difference between HTML5 and HTML. Okay, so we have native audio and video support. So HTML5 supports audio and video, both audio and video. Okay, so you can have your YouTube, you can have your native video on your website, okay, without any hassle. Okay, so that is that. So vector graphics support without plugin. You actually don't need a plugin to use your vector on HTML5. You don't need your plugins. Okay, so it works just like that. Okay, so unrestricted use of inline math, ML, and SVG in text. It has unrestricted use of inline math, ML, and SVG in text. Shorter HTML doctype declaration. We are actually going to talk more about this HTML doctype declaration in this lesson. Okay, so that is that. So shape creation support. It has shape creation support. It's shorter character encoding declaration and usage of the UTF-8 character set. So it supports UTF-8 character set. Okay, usage of an SQL database instead of cookies for the temporary storage of data. Assuming you want to store a data temporarily, you can actually, it uses SQL database instead of cookies for those temporary storage of data. Okay, so improve parsing rule, as HTML5 is not built based on standard generalized markup language. Okay, so that is that. JavaScript and browser interface running in separate threads. Okay, it supports drag and drop effect. Okay, so those drag and drop that you've been seeing on your browser is actually the work of HTML5. Okay, so it can handle inaccurate syntax and other error. So you have a syntax that is not correct, that is not accurate. HTML5 can still understand what you're trying to say, okay, or what you're trying to write. Okay, so that is that about the difference in HTML5. Okay, so I want to show you this image. This image here, we have HTML and HTML5. In this HTML, it has div id equals header. So what this is trying to tell us is every section, every part of the of our structure is div. Okay, so we have div as the header, div as the id menu, div as the menu, div as the post, div as the post here, and div as the footer. But in HTML5 give us the ability to create what the exact kind of structure we want, which is header, article, nav, and footer. So instead of typing div, or instead of using div as our section here, you can actually use header. There's also an HTML tag called section, I think section. So you can actually use that on your HTML5 website page, web document. Okay, so article, nav, footer. You don't have to type div and start using the id and classes. In HTML5 you can use the exact structure you want your web document to be. Okay, so that is that about the difference in HTML5. Okay, so let's quickly move to doctype in HTML. So what is doctype or XHTML document? As you can see here, we have our doctype as the first line of code here. Why? Because it is necessary for our browser to be able to read that this is an HTML5 document or this is an HTML4 document, depending on the doc type we are using. Okay, in this tutorial I intentionally made use of both, but if you want to build your website you are only required to use one, okay, of this. I'm just using this as an explanation purpose for you to know we have Doctype HTML5 and we have Doctype HTML4. So you can actually use Doctype HTML5 here, which is shorter and more precise than HTML4, which has a real reference to DTDs and based on SGML. That is Doctype HTML4. But Doctype HTML5 does not has does not have a reference to DTS, and it's no longer based on SGML. Okay, so I think that is that about the Doctype. I hope you enjoy this lesson. Thanks for watching this video. Send your questions and subscribe for more lessons like this.